Okay, and I'm rolling. So you have some. What else do we got here?
Well, just picking back up where we left off in the Jack specific, I have a very well known. This is a man who has been with the mixed martial arts MMA. This is the very famous, the very well known Brock Lesnar, who was he was also a national. I think they call it NAACP. I forget what that stands for. This he had a very good amateur as well as professional background in wrestling, and then he became a mixed martial arts fighter,
Gotcha.
and
Oh,
he's
okay.
just been a very popular. I guess he's like in his late or mid 30s or something, and
Look at those biceps.
yeah,
Those are
and
insane.
this man is built like this in real life, and he's
He's
just
not roided up or anything. He's got a trash can there. Is that his weapon of choice?
that was just an accessory that they put. I mean, he did use trash cans in some of his wrestling matches, but he was pretty much a powerhouse without a trash can. Weapon or no weapon, Brock Lesnar has been his own. He stands on his own without needing any extra weapons.
Mm-hmm.
And then here's another person who's maybe perhaps he wasn't an MMA guy, but this is a classic. There's a lot of these. This is the Jack specific classic version. Black packaging with some gold trimming, lettering. Very beautiful item. You know, shows you some of the other people they have from the classic series.
Mm-hmm.
They had from series 1 to I believe it went up to
Now he's a guy I have heard of. I've heard of Bruno Sammartini.
Bruno Sammartino is basically, he's primarily a popular wrestler from the 1960s and the 1970s, and to this day, he has held what was, there are different versions, many different versions of what the WWE slash WWF championship belt, but he held it, I think, basically 8 years, and he's had like a lot of different bouts with people like the Big Cat Ernie Ladd, Superstar Billy Graham, Nikolai Volkov. These are some more people that I have from this collection. I don't have them present with me now. I just bought a few for display, but
I'm not sure, but when I was
Bruno
at
Sammartino was a master, and he sold out Madison Square Garden over and over again over the years.
I don't. I'm not sure if I'm remembering it correctly. When we were at when I was at your apartment there, did you have a Rowdy Piper with a kilt?
I had several Roddy Pipers before I lost them in storage.
But did I see one over there?
I'm
of
sure
recent?
that you did. I had 4 figures of him. I had a extra large figure of Roddy Piper in his blue trunks and his boots, and like some regular, wrestling brief tights, whatever you call them. Some like almost look like underwear, but they were
Unitard,
wrestling.
like a unitard.
Unitard. I guess you could call it that. And I had, like I said, I had a Roddy Piper that came in a pack with Mr. Fuji, who became a manager in wrestling, but he was also a wrestler himself. And I had a double pack of Mr. Fuji versus Roddy Piper. That was also a classic
Okay.
series, and I wish I had that now, but he was one of the ones I lost in storage. I look to collect that again someday. And
So what else? Let me see what else you got here.
I have a few. This is
I like this guy here.
Kurt Angle, one of my absolute favorites. In fact, they came out with a wrestling DVD, which Bruno Sammartino also was featured on the top 50 wrestlers of all time concerning the WWE. There were people that were kind of like at the top of the game in some of these other wrestling businesses. This is Kurt Angle, kind of a little bit after he first started his WWE career when he became one of the undisputed heavyweight champions, Kurt Angle, Olympic gold medalist, the only one in the history of, at least in United States professional wrestling, that got a medal from his country in the United States. I think there were some other ones like the Iron Sheik. He got a medal from his country, but he's from Iran. This is an American wrestler who has an Olympic gold medalist background, amateur, before he came to the WWF slash now WWE. And Kurt Angle is multifaceted in different. He can do just probably probably just about almost anything in wrestling, but he's basically a technician. Has very good strength, very good stamina, and is just an all-around well-known wrestler. And he's also one of the TNA main faces too. Total nonstop action. Kurt Angle is a very good wrestler for the modern day.
Did these figures have any special abilities in and of themselves? As figured, like, did they have like like rock'em sock'em power or some kind of spring action? Anything like that?
I haven't seen that too much. Most of these are just very good looking, very well detailed figures. They look almost lifelike. But I can't say that there's been a whole lot of. I mean, there are some that might, like, you can plug them into some sort of a mic or some sort of a playset and a voice might come out. It's not going to come out the figure itself. So if you attach them to something, you might get like some sort of a. There's a few maybe commemorative figures that might have some sort of unusual features that most of the other figures don't, but most of them are just very good looking, lifelike figures of the person, and the most that you get.
Actually, yeah, that does look pretty good. If that's that guy's picture up there for real, and that's the figure, that's pretty good. That's pretty good work.
Very good technology known as a head scan, and they get these people's bodies.
They did that? They actually did that? Did they do it like a three-dimensional, like how
it's
they
something, yeah,
like how they used to do visual effects? They would do a kind of a digital scan, right?
Exactly, something like what you might have seen on, like, say for instance, the Bionic Man years ago. They were doing some sort of electronic thing with computers before it even became. Yeah. We had the internet and all this stuff. I think they still do that now with the more upgraded thing. This is a wrestler who's also another mixed martial artist, Bobby Lashley, who was in the military. He served in was it the Marines or was it the Army? It was one of our military branches. He was a soldier at one time. I think he was some sort of sergeant. I'm not sure how high up, but he was Bobby Lashley, another very tough and talented physical fighter. Like I said, mixed martial arts. I think he held the belt in that. This is a figure of Bobby Lashley when the WWE had like a remade version of the ECW Extreme Championship Wrestling, first known as Eastern Championship Wrestling, but this is later when the WWE came out with a remake of ECW.
Gotcha.
Not anywhere near as, I wouldn't say it was as dramatic or as but they had an ECW like a bring back, it's like this is a figure with his championship belt from the ECW when he won that title for, I don't know if he had held it for a couple of months or something. Bobby Lashley was definitely, I think he also held the WWE World Heavyweight Championship as well. Very tough wrestler, kind of a young guy, might be in his mid-30s now, something like that. Then we have Dwayne Johnson, who is The Rock.
And there it is. Look at that. Now let's compare the two figures here. Let's see what he looks like. He looks obviously a lot younger. And also he has more hair on the top rather than on his chin.
Right. This is definitely two different points in his life. This figure is when the World Wrestling Federation, before it became World Wrestling Entertainment, this figure has come out over... This is quite a few years before this figure came out.
What's the year? That actually has the WWF insignia on it, so what year was that made?
I believe it was 2001.
Is that on the bottom there? Is that the year on the bottom on the front?
Oh, I'm seeing 2002 in the back. They have something that says 2002.
When did the WWF become the WWE?
They made that, I'm not sure what month, but I believe it was either February or March that it became the WWE. They had some...
Of that year? Oh, okay.
They had something where they were making a joke, get the F out, which means get the F out of the WWE.
Did they do that? WWE. They did that because they ran into a conflict with the World Wildlife Federation?
Is that what it was? Exactly.
World Wildlife Fund.
Had gotten into some sort of hot water. I don't know how this happened so many years later, but... That was the dispute. The world.
Now that I'm going to assume, because that is a WWF. If you were to look at that on eBay, it'd probably be worth quite a bit just for that insignia alone. The packaging alone might be worth more than the actual. Well, actually, we know that. We know it's a complete package that matters.
In fact, there's quite a few of those that I want with the WWF logo. But even
that's going to be extremely difficult, right?
Not necessarily. It depends on which item that you want because there's still a lot of those out there. But like I said, my income situation right now is one I have. If I'm going to continue to mess with this sort of thing, I would have to. My cash flow would have to substantially. I mean, 100-fold improve. I can't go on like this, and it's just. I want a lot of those Jack specific WWF and still even after WWE figures.
Okay.